Yo, Andrew, it's raining right now.
You know what? It doesn't matter though, because the NBA playoffs don't stop, and neither do Asian guys talk about the NBA.
First off, real quick, round one recap.
There were 3 Game 7s from round 1. The Hawks beat the Celtics in Game 7, the Raptors beat the Pacers in Game 7, and the Heat beat the Hornets in Game 7.
Ah!
I know we were making fun of D-Wade in the previous video. He came up big. He's still D-Wade. He still got some of it
Yo,
in.
man, shout out to our boys, Jeremy Lin on the Charlotte Hornets, and shout out to Rodney Stuckey on the Indiana Pacers, who's from our hometown of Kent, Washington.
And shout out to Isaiah Thomas, who's also from around the hometown. And also, shout out to Jamal Crawford. He got out in the first round, too.
Oh,
He's from Seattle.
man.
Oh, man, all the Seattle guys. So the Clippers lost to the Blazers in Game 6. I want to shout out to the Clippers real quick because they had 2 major injuries. I feel super bad. You had Chris Paul, you had Blake Griffin out. I want to just give a shout out to the Clippers. They left it all on the floor. Austin Rivers at the post-game interview looked like Nate Diaz after UFC 196. He had the black eye. So shout out to the Clippers. They did their thing, but it's just so sad that 2 of the main stars had to get injured.
All right, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. We've gone over round 1. We're at peace with it on to round 2.
So now in round 2, you got the Blazers, OKC, Spurs, and Warriors.
Obviously, the Warriors, Spurs, OKC advanced. All right, Andrew, the Blazers were not supposed to advance beyond the Clippers. Now, a healthy Clippers team with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin could have given a Steph Curry-less Warriors a run for their money, but to be honest, the Blazers, even at full strength, are no match for the Warriors, even without Steph.
I think that the Blazers could potentially get 1 game. That's my prediction. I mean, the Warriors are just too nasty of a team. Draymond's playing at a high level. Klay Thompson, he's not going to go off for 37 every game, but you know, almost every other game he could drop 30.
That 1 game, if the Blazers get 1 game on the Warriors, Dame's gonna have to go for 40, and CJ's gonna have to go for 25. If you look at it, the Blazers run small ball.
Yeah.
The Warriors are the best at small ball.
Yes.
They got Draymond, who can guard all 5 positions. Draymond is looking like Scottie Pippen right now.
Maybe Dame and CJ might go off for like 60 points together.
I don't even think anybody else on the Blazers can even give you 20.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to be hopeful and say 1 game. Now on to the more exciting matchup in the West, OKC versus the Spurs.
It's tied up right now.
It's already been Game 2.
As controversial as it was, that last play in Game 2 to tie up the series looked crazy. I mean, like, I hit Ginobili with the elbow, but Ginobili's too close, and then I jump and throw it. That's illegal. And then there's a whole bunch of fouls going on, and then I don't know, man.
Steven Adams is getting his arm pulled by the Spurs fans. Shout out to the Spurs fans,
the
though.
Spurs fans want to win.
Hey, now OKC has 1 game. Now a lot of people, and including I would say myself and maybe you we have been doubtful of OKC to pull things through in late game situations.
They got blown out in Game 1. They came back, stole Game 2. Honestly, you gotta still say Spurs in 6 or 7.
If the Thunder cannot beat the Spurs this series, Kevin Durant should leave next year because he is a free agent.
OKC fans are gonna love that.
I'm just saying. I mean, if you can't beat the Spurs and get to the Western Conference Finals, something should happen. I've been saying that all season, though.
Okay. Moving on to the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Miami Heat versus the Toronto Raptors, and you have the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Atlanta Hawks. Did you know that right now, statistically, DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry are the worst shooting guard duo in like almost playoff history? They're both shooting below 35% from the field. They just shoot really, really bad in the playoffs, and they have for like several seasons now. To be honest, even in Game 7 against the Pacers, they shot really poorly.
They shot bad. They shot
less than 30% even in that game. Do you think Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan can break out of that funk that they've been in for like 3 seasons?
Looking at the history, you would have to doubt the Toronto Raptors. And the Miami Heat have a history of winning championships. With that said, I think Toronto,
They got the mojo right now. Drake's Views came out.
Honestly, if you made me predict, I think the Miami Heat go on.
Do the Atlanta Hawks have a chance against the Cleveland Cavaliers?
All right, I know Jeff Teague hit the 3 in Kyrie's face. Not this year, man. Not this year. But except the Cavs ended up winning that game.
Yeah. You can't rely on Dennis Schroeder to give you like 30 a game. They're the last team in the NBA that runs a true non-superstar system. I actually think Cavs in 5.
There will not be a Game 7 in this series.
I mean, it could even be a sweep.
It's funny because at the end of the day, the Cavs have so much talent that like you don't need that good of chemistry because at the end of the day, Kyrie and LeBron are gonna go up to block Dennis Schroeder's stuff. And if it's not Kyrie, then it's LeBron.
I would say that the Cavs, would you say that they have a renewed sense of hope ever since Steph got injured? Since Steph's out, it changes up the whole field where the Spurs are like, okay, I think the Spurs always believed they could win.
Yeah.
OKC's looking at the championship like, yo, if we could just pull it together and beat the Spurs, you know, Steph's not going to be at full health. And then the Cavs now are like, we could bring one to Cleveland now, finally.
Let me tell you this, guys. All teams, not the Warriors right now. Now is your chance. Strike while the curry is cold.
And even without it, the Warriors are going to be in the Western Conference Finals, and I think that they have a chance of winning some games against the Spurs. Probably the Spurs will probably advance. But yeah, it would be tough to win a 7-game series against the Spurs without Steph.
Yo, I'll tell you this. Can we mention, my bad, we forgot to mention on the Spurs that LaMarcus Aldridge is playing out of his mind.
He is. He's actually fitting in the way that people thought he was, and I think that's really because Tim Duncan is pretty much giving him all his shots.
Tim Duncan's essentially a defensive player now.
You don't see any post-up ISOs for Duncan anymore.
Nah.
He grabs the rebound. He doesn't even try to put it up. He just throws it right back out. Real quick, non-playoff team news. Luke Walton is the new coach of the LA Lakers.
Hey, we knew this was going to happen. Luke Walton used to play on the Lakers.
Yo, not that long ago.
No.
That's got to be the shortest transition between a player playing for the team and coaching the team I've ever seen.
Definitely. He's the youngest head coach. Shout out to Luke Walton. Happy he got the job.
Last thing, real quick, other news. Scotty Brooks got hired as the coach of the Wizards. What does it mean? The Wizards are trying to sign KD this summer. I do not think KD wants to play with John Wall. Also, George Karl just got fired from the Kings. And George Karl went and just snitched on the entire season. Yeah. George Karl outed how terrible and toxic the organization was and all the dysfunction within it. And people trying to push out owners and owners trying to push out players and coaches trying to push out everything. All right, you guys, yo, that's it for Asian Guys Talk About the NBA Round 2. In the comment section below, make sure you let us know, number 1, who you think is going to win Round 2 of the NBA playoffs. Number 2, what do you think is the most interesting story from a non-playoff NBA team?
And number 3, assuming that Steph Curry does not come back this season, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win the NBA championship and why.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we're out. Peace. Let's go. Hey. David gave him the fist. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching that episode of Asian Guys Talk About the NBA. Watch this video right there. Watch this video right there. Man, we love the NBA playoffs, but I'm starting to really like handball too, so maybe it'll be like Asian Guys Talk About handball next.
Oh, the handball playoffs. Who's in it?